Hello everyone, welcome to this video. This video is for class 8, chapter 3, that is MS Access 2010. This chapter is divided into two parts, that is part 1 and part 2. So let's see the overview of this video, that is chapter 3 part 1. In this video, we are going to learn about database and DBMS. Next we will learn about the types of database. After that, advantages of database, components of database, and then we'll go through Microsoft Access and its features, and then we'll see the components of MS Access. So let's begin with the first topic, that is database and DBMS. Before starting this database, let us understand the meaning of data. A data is a raw facts and figures or any piece of information that is given to a computer. Now let's see the database. What is database? A database is an organized collection of data. A database can also be defined as a collection of multiple related data or multiple related tables. It helps us to enter, manage, access, and analyze data. It means this DBMS helps us to input any new data. It helps us to delete or update any existing data, as well as it also helps us to access, that is to search any data and analyze our data that is present in our database. Apart from this, it also helps us to retrieve the required information easily and efficiently. And to fulfill all this, there is a need of one software that is called DBMS, that is Database Management System. So what is DBMS? DBMS is simply a set of programs, that is a software that help us to create and manage databases. The main purpose of using the DBMS is to store the huge data. It provides a facility to control the duplicate entries, data inconsistency, data manipulations, data insecurity, and data integration. So these all are the important terms, and these all are terms we will discuss in this video in the features of DBMS. So this is the important thing about DBMS. Let's begin with the next topic, that is types of database. There are two main categories of database. Number one is flat file database. With the name itself, we can understand, and you can see this picture of a flat file database. And using this picture, we can understand this flat file database contains a single table, and it stores all the data in a single table only. In this database, there is no option to create a link between the table. That means this database do not allow to create a links between the tables. Now let's see some examples of flat file database. So best example of flat file database is MS Excel, OpenOffice.org, Cal, etc., where we can store all the data in a single sheet or in a single table itself. The second type of database is a relational database. You can see in this picture, instead of storing all the data in a single table, there are several tables, and in those several tables, data are stored. So this relational database stores the data in several tables and provides a facility to create a links, that is the relationship between the tables. Using these links, we can easily retrieve any information from the related tables. And the best example of this relational database is MS Access, that we are going to learn in this video. And apart from this, other softwares that belongs to the relational database are Microsoft SQL, MySQL, Oracle, etc. Now, let's see the advantages of DBMS. We can create a database by using the DBMS, that is Database Management System, which is a software that manages a large amount of data. So this DBMS provides a major advantages. Some of the major advantages of DBMS are as follows. That is reduced data redundancy, increased data inconsistency, improved data access to the users, increased data security, maintaining standards, save time, provides backup and recovery, etc. So let's understand these points one by one. The first is reduced data redundancy. Redundancy means simply a duplication of data. Data redundancy occurs when the same data are stored unnecessarily at the different places. So that data redundancy is reduced or eliminated in a DBMS because all the data are stored at a centralized location rather than being created by the individual users for each application. So instead of creating again and again, the data is stored at one place, the same data is being shared by all. So this will reduce the data redundancy. The second point is increased data inconsistency. Data consistency is ensured in in database by reducing the data redundancy. That means if the data redundancy is less, data consistency will be more. That means अगर आपका डाटा डुप्लीकेसी कम होगा तो डाटा कंसिस्टेंसी ज़्यादा होगा. So all the data appears consistently across the database and the data is same for all the users viewing the database. Moreover, any change made to the database are immediately reflected to all the users and there is no data inconsistency. The next point is improved data access to the users. That is, DBMS facilitates to store the data at a centralized location and also allows the sharing of data among the multiple users according to their requirement. That means DBMS helps the users to produce the quick answer to the queries, making data accessing accurate and faster. So whenever we ask any query or any question to the database or DBMS, so DBMS will reply back the answer in a very quick way. The next point is increased data security. Data security is a vital concept in a database. Only authorized users must be allowed to access the database and their identity must be authenticated using the username and the password. In DBMS, different user IDs can be created with various levels of security. Users have limited rights and permissions. Only authorized users can access the data from the database. So this way, this DBMS increases the data security. The next point is maintaining the standards. DBMS ensures that data entered in a database must obey the organization's rule or the standard of the database. So every database have some standards, that means some rules, and DBMS helps to maintain that rule of the database. This ensures that DBMS control the data integrity and also helps in sharing the data between the different systems. The next important point is the save time. DBMS reduce the data access time to a few seconds. This is one of the greatest advantages of the DBMS because we can write small queries which will search the database for us and it will retrieve the information in the fastest way possible due to its inbuilt searching operations. And the last and the most important point is it provides the backup and recovery facility. What is backup? A backup means creating a duplicate file or duplicate copy of the data so that in case of any damage or in case of any failure, we can restore it. So this DBMS automatically takes care of the recovery and the backup. The users are not required to take the periodical backup as this is taken care by the DBMS itself. Besides, it also restores the database after a system failure or crashes to prevent its previous condition. So these are some advantages of DBMS, why a DBMS is required. Now we'll move to the next topic, that is components of database. A database consists of various components. The following are the basic components of the database. So you can see this picture. This picture contains four important components of the database, that is our tables, queries, forms and reports. And all these components are related to each other. That is, we cannot create a queries without the table. So the first basic element of the database is the table, and with the help of table we can either create a queries, we can either create a reports, or we can either create a forms. we can create a report either from the table as well as the query also. But to create a form, we need table. Now, let's understand these components one by one in detail. The first component is tables. A table is a collection of related data held in a tabular format or in a table format within a database. It consists of rows and columns. For example, you can see this table. This table consists of 4 columns, that is roll number, name, address and contact, and having 2 records of a student Ram and second Mohan. Every table in a database have some elements. Let's understand the elements of a table. The first element of the table is a value or a data, and it is the smallest unit of a database, and it can be a numeric, it can be alphanumeric, or it may be a special characters. You can see in this picture, in this table, this individual values in the each cell is a data or value. The second element is the field. A field is simply refers to the columns which contain a specific type of information. For example, roll number, name, address, contact, etc. So you can see in the roll number column, we can only store the roll numbers. In the name column, only we will find the name. So this way, this roll number, name, address and contact are the fields of the table. The third is the record. Record refers to the row, that is a horizontal row, which is a collection of values from the various fields. So you can see these are the records. So roll number 1, Ram, Jayant, and the 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a record of roll number 1. Similarly, row 2 is the record of roll number 2. So there are the 2 records in this table. Now the third is the file. File refers to the collection of related records. So all these records, these 2 records are stored in a particular file, and that file is a table name. So these are the basic elements of a table. The next element is queries. So what is query? A query is simply a question. So when we talk about the queries in relation to other people, we expect some sort of the answer in return. You can see similarly in the database, a query refers to a question that has been asked to the database about some information, and the database will return something. A database query is a request to access the data from the database in order to manipulate it or to retrieve it. So you can see this figure. In this figure, there are certain tables are there, and the query is provided to the table, and with this query, a certain information has been retrieved from this combined 2 tables. This query allows us to create, read, update, and delete items in our database. And one important point to be noted, as I told, this query is simply a question. When we ask the question from the database, in which language we prefer. So there is a one language called structured query language, that is SQL, which is the most popular and the most famous query language. And SQL grew up alongside the query by example, that is QBE system. And this is a QBE system was developed by the IBM in 1970, and it serves the basis of the relational database. So all the relational database today uses the SQL to create a query and to ask the question from the database. The third component of the database is the forms. A forms in database is simply a window or a screen that contains a number of fields or the spaces to enter the data. You can see in this figure is a window that consists of different labels. You can see these are the labels and these are the fields. And by reading the labels, we can enter the value in each field. So each field holds a field label so that any user who views the form get the idea of its component. For example, you can see the first is a user ID. Anybody can understand. Here we have to enter the user ID. Similarly, here is the address, so anybody can understand. Here what we have to enter, that is we have to enter address. Here we have to enter the city, state, phone, like this. A form is more user friendly than generating the queries to create a tables and insert the data in the field. So we can directly enter the value in the table also, And there is another way to enter the value in the database by using the forms. So forms can be used to enter the new record. Forms can be used to find the record. Forms can be used to modify any record. So forms are very useful and one of the important component of the database. Next most important component is the reports. To understand this report, we can compare the report with the forms. If a form are for input, then reports are for output. You can see this picture. This picture is a printable format or printable page consisting of various information. So a database report is a formatted result of database queries and contains the useful data for the decision making and analysis. So by the help of the queries, we retrieve the information, and that information can be represented in a printable format, and that printable format is called the report. So report offers a way to view, format, and summarize the information in our database in a professional format for printing. So it is very easy to take the printout of the report instead of form and tables. So this is the basic information about the report. Now till now we have understood the basic of database. Now we'll start the next topic, that is MS Access. MS Access is a database management system which was launched by Microsoft. It is a part of Microsoft Office suite and stores the data in its own format. So Microsoft Access is a database management system, as I told in the first point. This is a DBMS that combines the relational Microsoft Jet database engine with a graphical user interface and a software development tools. That means this MS Access have three important things. That is, it is a combined features of relational Microsoft Jet database engine. Along with that, it also provides the GUI features and it also provides the software development tools. Microsoft Access can be used to develop the application softwares and is generally used by data architects, software developers, and power users. Now let's see the major uses of MS Access. So MS Access are widely used to store large volume of data in the form of tables and edit or customize those data later as per the requirement of the user. It also provides a facility to create a relationship between these tables by using a common fields. Another important use of MS Access is for managing the accounts and bills. It also helps for comparing the data or finding the relationship between the existing data. So these are some basic points about MS Access. Now let's understand the features of MS Access. MS Access have various features. Some of the important features of MS Access are as follows. MS Access is ideal for the individual users as well as the smaller teams. It helps to break the large information into the different tables as it is a relational database management system. It reduces the data redundancy, that is the duplication of data. We can control the duplication of data using MS Access. It facilitates the sharing of data. It provides the data security and features. It provides a facility to create data forms and the reports. It helps to generate queries to get information stored in the database. And also, it helps to import and export data to other Microsoft Office and other applications. These are few important features of Microsoft Access, and these features make this Microsoft Access a popular software. Now let's see the components of MS Access window. MS Access window consists of number of components to make working in MS Access easier and more efficient. So MS Access window consists of various components. These components includes the File tab, Quick Access toolbar, Contextual tab, Ribbon tab, Object tabs, Navigation pane, Navigation buttons, Access work area, and the View buttons. So you can see in this picture all the components has been highlighted. Now we'll see about all these components one by one. So the items in this access windows are, you can see this table. The first item is file tab, and this file tab is used to view existing file, or if I have to create a new database, I have to go to this file tab and select the new option, as well as this tab is also used for sharing, saving, as well as the printing the database object. It also helps to change the access program options. The second option is quick access toolbar. This toolbar is located by default at the top of the window, and it is used to access frequently used commands. So you can see here, this is a quick access toolbar, and here we get the save, undo, redo options. Second is the ribbon. You can see here these are the ribbons, and this ribbons is a control center for managing and working with MS Access objects like tables, queries, forms, and reports. Then there is a ribbon tab. This ribbon tab is used to move from one set of commands to another in MS Access work area. Next is the contextual tab. Contextual tabs are displayed when the object is selected. For example, when we select a table, then a table feature will be opened. When we select a query, then query contextual tab will open. So this contextual tab shows the options related to a selected database object. Next is a navigation pane. A navigation pane will show the list of all the objects in a database. That means how many tables you have created, all the forms that you have created, all the list of forms, tables, queries, as well as the reports will be displayed in the navigation pane. Next is the navigation button at the bottom, you can see here. So this navigation button is used to move from one record to another record. You can see here there is a table. In this table certain rows are there, certain records are there. To move from one record to another record, that is line by line, we can move through navigation button. Next is the object tabs. Object tab you can see here at the at the top of the work area. This object tab is used to display the opened object. This object tab will appear at the top of the access work area. So when table, queries, forms, or reports is open, then this object tab will appear. Next is the access work area. In the middle, this is the whole area is the access work area, and this is the area where tables, forms, reports, and queries are displayed. And the last option, that is the view button, that is in the right bottom, and this button is located at the right corner of the database window, and it is used to display the selected object in a different views such as design view, layout view, etc. And the available buttons change depending upon on which object is being viewed. There are different views for the tables as well as the forms, reports, and queries. We can change the view of the database object by using this view button. So these are all about the basic things about the database and the DBMS, and some basic things about MS Access. This is all about the first part of MS Access 2010 video. In the next video, we'll learn more about MS Access. I hope you all have understood the basic things about the MS Access has been covered in this video. So thank you and all the best for